welcome to Hansween. Hansween is 31 tutorials in October. That means a new video every single day. Today's video is a collaboration with my amazing friend Alex Action. He did a zombie toad and I did his zombie peach best friend. All product details will be listed down below as always, and enjoy the tutorial. So starting out, we want to make our face nice and pale. If you're a little güera like me, you're already super pale, so I'm just using a very light foundation, which is from Dior. It is my favorite foundation. And then going in with my NARS Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, and I am just going to kind of highlight my face a little bit like I normally would for any beauty application. For the beauty side of the face, I am going to prime my eyelid with Urban Decay Primer Potion, and then set that with a base eyeshadow. This is Beaches and Cream from Makeup Geek, and then going in with Cinderella from Makeup Geek as my transition color. I want to add in some Stars and Rockets from MAC Cosmetics. I forgot I even had this eyeshadow. I'm just going to put that closer to my crease, and then I am adding in some Cherry Cola from Makeup Geek, all right up against my crease so that I create kind of this nice little V shape. Just like we did in the last tutorial if you watched it. You basically just want to add the color and then blend it out. With my Bling eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, I'm going to use a damp brush and put it on the top of my eyelid. This is the NYX white eyeliner. For the illusion that our eyes are kind of more open and larger like Peaches are, I'm just going to put a little bit of white liner on the bottom of my eye, and then add a tiny bit of White Lies from Makeup Geek on the top of the lid just to make the very center pop a little more. Add a little flick of winged eyeliner. This is from Tarte, the Tartist clay liner. It's my favorite. Pop on some lashes, well, one lash on one side, and then do your brows. This is a very simple brow application. I'm doing them in blonde and just doing them very light and fluffy. Contour your face like you normally would for a beauty application, but I am raising my cheekbones just so they look a little higher than what they are. And make sure to get it around your temples and your forehead, and ooh, fix that wig, girl, and your jawline too. The new Anastasia Beverly Hills Starlight highlighter is to die for, so I am putting that all over my cheekbones and on the top of my forehead, focusing just on our beauty side. NYX has this line of super matte, bright blushes where you only need the tiniest bit, so I'm using this color to put on the apples of my cheeks so I have a cute little rosy cheek. I didn't really want the teeth to be too cartoonish, so mixing a little bit of white and yellow paint from Mehron, I am creating the teeth shape. I am basically going to draw a square and then have a little point coming out from that. When you are doing teeth, make sure that they do curve up slightly as well. For the actual exposed bloody mess, I am just putting in some Beach Berry paint from Mehron. I would suggest using red, but couldn't find my red unfortunately. And we're just going to kind of clean up the teeth a little bit and make sure to get them the right size we do want them. Make them look a little jagged and fucked up. They are zombie teeth, so age them. I even took one away because I was like, well, maybe she lost one in a fight. I don't know. And then just fill in any portions that you do want to have kind of the flesh missing from. I included my eye, my nose, and a few portions on my face. With a little bit of that Cherry Cola color again from Makeup Geek, I'm going to go in roughly with a fluffy brush just to make my face look kind of bruised and roughed up. This kind of mustardy orange matte eyeshadow was perfect. This is from Makeup Geek called Chickadee, and I am just taking this on the bottom and sides of my teeth just to kind of give them some more dimension and make them look a little grosser. Go in with some brown eyeshadow. This is Mocha from Makeup Geek, one of my favorites, and I'm going to focus on one side of my tooth and towards the bottom, just so they look really three-dimensional. As well, kind of adding in little holes towards the tips of each tooth. For even more added dimension, go in with Corrupt from Makeup Geek. This is a great black matte eyeshadow. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to go completely in between the teeth just to add a little more darkness, because naturally that's where a lot of shadow would be. Where that tooth is missing, it would be pretty much completely black. And then make sure to go around the edges of the flesh as well. Give me a minute, I need my coffee break. You guys know, that's why I do my lips last. Gotta have my motherfucking coffee. Look at that paint on the edge of the fucking glass. Ooh. For a few extra highlights, I am taking a little bit of white grease paint and just putting a little curve on some of the teeth so it looks like there's some accentuated gums. Continue what we just did with the black and cherry cola around the eye and nose. And since I did want the eye to look kind of droopy, I am going to be taking a little bit of white eyeliner just to create the illusion that my eye is drooping down because I'm a sad zombie. Mehron does have one of the best liquid latex that I have tried because it is very thick, so I'm just going to use a sponge and start applying that all around my open wounds. What we are going for here is, a special effects look so that it will look like the skin is rotting and kind of hanging over our open wounds. So, between layers, I am adding extra latex towards the edges so that that's really thick, because if your skin was decaying off like that, the edges would be very thick. Make sure to have it dry between layers, and so while this is drying, we're going to move on to our chest. I started out by drawing my little jewel that she has in the middle of her chest, and then we are going in with light pink paint from Mehron Makeup, and I am just applying that all over my body, but I want her dress to look aged and kind of ruined, so I'm not doing it completely on my neck. Fill in the jewel with a light blue body paint. This is the light blue mixed with a little bit of white just to get the perfect blue I want. And then I am making the outside gold edge with Mango Paradise paint from Mehron Makeup. So we're going to be using this Morphe 35C palette for pretty much the rest of the chest. And so taking these kind of pink and maroon shades, I'm going to start making it look like the edges of this dress are torn and aged and kind of fucked up. Make it look wrinkly and rough. You don't want this to look perfect. Using the darkest maroon from that palette, I am going to start drawing out her little poofy sleeves that she has on her dress. I wanted these to be very accentuated because that is very signature to her. With the black from this eyeshadow palette, I am going to start sketching out a few more little edges on her dress. I'm basically taking this not all the way up to the edge because I do want a little highlight, but I am using this to create wrinkles and to create little edges and torn little spots that are going to be shown. I really want to accentuate the sleeves, so I'm going darker around the sleeves and creating these torn, nasty pieces. With some cream paint, this is from Krylon, the Clown White, I now want to start adding highlights because highlights are just as important as adding shadow. This will really help to make it look realistic. So add these in a few spots to really help to bring out the fact that it's wrinkled. If you've never painted on clothes before, I would definitely suggest looking at a reference picture and kind of painting it from there. The tops of her sleeves, since we want this to look super circular, adding a little bit of white there too. Want them to look poofy and out of my shoulder as much as possible. And then just go in with black again, just to fix any other little highlights and shadows you want to add. Looking at the reference picture of her jewel that she actually wears, I'm going to start adding shadow on the top of the jewel using the blues from that Morphe palette, and then bringing it down into this little half moon shape towards the bottom, but not completely at the bottom of the jewel. Adding some more of that white cream paint, we are going to slowly add this very big highlight that she has on the very top of the jewel. Just put a little paint down and then blend it out, and then add more and more until you get the desired effect you're looking for. We're going to go back to the face for a little bit. I'm going to start pulling off this latex. You can see I'm kind of moving my face around to start loosening it up a little bit. And this Mehron paint, since it's so thick, I actually didn't have a problem pulling it off too much. It didn't hurt, it was fine, so I would definitely suggest using this. I just want all of these open little wounds that I can start putting shadows and such in. I do want to powder it just so that it doesn't fold in on itself and so it's not sticky anymore, so I'm just using some Ben Nye banana powder very lightly. With this Mehron mask cover kit, I am going to start covering all of the latex in a skin color. Grease paints are the absolute best to use on latex because it'll really stick into the latex and it won't move. Now for the fun part, rough that shit up. I am taking that Cherry Cola matte eyeshadow and I am adding all kinds of shadows and making it look gross and messed up, bruised, because if our skin was rotting and falling off, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't just be beautiful. And then I am also adding tons of shadow underneath all of those ripped pieces of flesh. This is the Ben Nye Scab Blood. This shit's awesome. I am going to start putting this over some of my open wounds just for a little bit more texture. This stuff will kind of dry and make it look like you have a scab going on. You can see I'm adding this very random around my face, but keeping it more towards the wounds and close around them. Since that skin is lifting up and kind of hanging down, I do want to take the white from that Mehron palette and really accentuate those pieces and give a highlight to them. Keep adding more shadow until you feel you're happy with it and add as much blood as you want to. I'm going back and forth between Ben Nye Scab blood and the Mehron coagulated blood. To finish off our chest, I do want to add a little bit of shadow around the dress because it is off our skin, so it needs a shadow under it. So using Mocha from Makeup Geek and the Corrupt eyeshadow, which is the black, just to keep adding shadow so it looks a little more dimensional. Using more of the Mocha shadow, I'm going to go underneath the jewel and then on top of it just a little bit as well. Peach has these cutie patootie pink lips, so I'm using Queen Supreme from Jeffree Star Cosmetics to fill in, and then I'm using a little bit of Masochist, which is also from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, just to kind of give it a little bit of a ombre so that it's not quite as flat. Add some blood on the lips just to complete the look, and add a little bit more of the Stage Blood from Mehron so that it can drip down your neck and look all gross. Now give me a sec while I go pop in my contacts and my crown. And now you can be your zombie Pete. You could totally just do the beauty look if you wanted, but I kind of prefer a little bit of gore up in this bitch. If you guys do recreate these looks, please use the hashtag Hanzoween. I want to see your guys' looks and what you're choosing to do for Halloween. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I love you so much, Hans family. I'll see you guys tomorrow.